calling out around the world. Are
I
you
thought
ready
I
for
thought we were gonna
it?
have. I thought we have a new theme song. I was expecting
Oh,
our
that
new.
is the new theme song. I'm doing my Mick is the new theme song.
You're not even allowed. You're gonna be sued now. You're not allowed to do that.
It
Can
was
sing.
parody. No, parody is you're allowed to do parody.
Okay.
You're or really bad renditions. You're allowed to do really bad stuff.
Well, that can't be true. Um. So hey, what's going on?
How are you?
I'm good. Um. Yeah, I'm good. That's it. I don't have again a very unexciting week. Very unthrilling. How about yourself?
Got big news today. We have a liquor license.
Hey, congratulations.
Yeah,
Well, that's a big deal.
that's a big deal. We cleared our last regulatory hurdle. We have a date that we're going into production. June 7th, bottles will start rolling off the line and be available for purchase probably about a week and a half after that.
I love it. I love
It's,
it.
uh,
I love
it's
it.
crazy. It's crazy.
You must be very relieved. Is it very hard? Are the chances that somebody doesn't get a liquor license when they apply very high? Is it like passing the bar exam, or is it
No,
just a
no,
lot of work?
no. For the kind of license that we were going for, it's not. It's just a lot of work. It's not really that much of a question of whether you'll get it.
Right.
Um, if you're trying to get a premise, what they call a premises license, like a bar or a liquor store, it's more difficult because people can object and say we don't. You have to hang up this poster when you're applying for a liquor license that these premises have applied, and people can object and say we don't want a liquor store in our neighborhood, it attracts a bad element, or we don't want a bar in our neighborhood, it'll be noisy. But we were going for a producer's kind of license. So our poster was hung on a warehouse in a warehouse district, and nobody cares.
Right. Well, nobody saw it. They would have objected if they could see the
They would have,
post, but
it's a liquor. It's a warehouse that already stores liquor. So all it meant is there's going to be more our liquor. It's the place that our liquor will be shipped after it's made. So
right.
not a big not a big worry that we were going to get objections, and none of us have any felonies, so we cleared the background check and all of that.
Congratulations. It's extraordinary.
Very excited about that.
You're that much closer to being a purveyor of fine alcoholic beverages.
Yes.
Like
yes,
the one the one you have in your hand.
Like the one I have in my hand, which is batch 22 and Fever Tree Elderflower Tonic. And I'm not even getting paid to say that by the Fever Tree people. We just love their mixers.
Would like a nice Schweppes, like a ginger ale, be a nice combo with your
ginger ale would be really good. There is
or is it too sweet? I wouldn't know.
No, that'll work. But something that I think is really exceptional is batch 22 and Dr. Brown's Celery. Together.
Damn, Celery! You've said the magic words.
And I call that drink. We call that drink the Stingray.
That's good.
Yeah.
That might be my new drink.
Because it's celery soda with a little bit of a bite to it.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's really good. So did you get to watch anything fun this week? I know you got to watch one fun thing. Very short, but very fun.
What was that?
The previews for Land Shark.
Oh yeah, that I did too. that I did too. That looks wonderful, and I think we should have a Shark Month. I think we should do Shark Month
in celebration of Land Shark coming out.
Yeah, soon we should just do a run of shark movies.
Are there more than one? I can only think of one shark. No, I'm kidding.
There are a few. Sharknado is just one of them.
Sharknado, and aren't there about 7 of those now?
I think there's definitely more than one or more than 2.
Yeah,
I think. And Deep Blue Sea we could watch.
Deep Blue Sea.
There's many movies. Shark Week or Shark Month. Let's do it.
Shark
Let's do
Month.
that.
Okay.
What have
Yeah.
I seen? I have to look at my book. Well, no,
No.
nothing
Well, I
worth
started
mentioning.
watching something from. See if you can guess what country it was from that I
Let me
started
hold
watching.
on. Shush. It's from the Isle of Cork.
Yes, there you go. No, but this was something that you recommended. I finally
Oh, you started. Oh,
I broke down and got Acorn TV. So I had to spend more money thanks to you. But
right.
I started watching Wire in the Blood,
What do you
and
think of that?
it's really fun. It's really good.
I remember really liking it. It's a creepy time.
Yeah, I like
Great.
creepy. You know me.
I do too. That's why I recommended it.
You know that they called me because I read serial killer, true crime serial killer stuff in law school all the
Mm.
time. They'd always see me carrying around like the Jeffrey McDonald story or the Ted Bundy, and somebody they dubbed me the chairman and president of the Ted Bundy fan club when I was in law school because I was always
That's
reading serial killer. A
yeah.
dubious
Well,
distinction.
it's a dubious distinction.
Yeah.
Not a name you can carry with pride, but I think you safely, you were ahead of the curve because true crime stuff is never, I mean, like the stuff that they put out on Netflix now on a regular basis, there's just a tidal wave of pretty well made, terrifyingly morose programming,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah.
end up getting hooked on. And then after a while, feel like I'm just a bad person.
You're bad. Oh, I'm being informed by our incredibly fantastic producers that there are 7 Sharknado movies.
There are 7 Sharknado movies now. You got to be kidding me. Oh my God.
That's just insane.
Wow. I've only seen 18 of them, so I've got work to do. That is crazy.
Yeah. That's a little.
But I've clearly lost track of time because I don't even know how. I feel like Sharknado came out 3 years ago, which I know it didn't, but I feel like that. I'm like, how could they make 7 of them in 3 years?
It's pretty nuts.
But it didn't. It came out a long time ago. I'm dating myself.
Another thing I saw this week was, I'm working my way through The Outer Limits with a friend of mine.
Yeah.
And we're actually considering quitting this task because as incredibly wonderful as The Outer Limits were in my memory when I was a kid, and as creepy as they were and as much as they terrified me as a kid, they don't hold up like the Twilight Zone does. So we're thinking of switching and just doing the entire Twilight Zone series instead. And you get that same vibe of the incredible actors who show up. And for instance, in last week's episode of Outer Limits was the father of the star of this week's movie.
Oh, yeah?
Very, very young Martin Sheen.
Martin Sheen was in everything.
Yeah.
Screaming Sheen, as we
Screaming
call him
Sheen.
on Rated P for Paranormal. He's got a reputation on that show.
It was, and Marty, interestingly enough, has the same wide eyes through the episode of Outer Limits that Emilio has in this movie.
Well, they do look remarkably alike.
They look remarkably alike, but Emilio's eyes, he never squints. It's always amazement.
The way that he looked in this movie made him look not terribly bright. Made him look really confused and about 12 years old throughout the whole thing.
All right, we're gonna get right into it there because I was gonna go like what they hired a guy who just looks like I don't know what's happening. And I could see another actor playing I don't know what's happening with a squint, not a look of bewilderment.
He looked afraid at all times. I mean, it was a scary situation he was in, so maybe that was worth it. Yeah. Look, we're going to say some things about this movie, but I don't feel comfortable laying the blame at Emilio Estivez's feet. He's far from the problem here.
You thought there were problems with this movie?
Oh, no. Well, no. It depends. One person's problem, it could be another person's delight.
Well,
You know,
well,
but
overall, not an enjoyable experience or an enjoyable experience.
enjoyable experience.
Okay,
A
okay, I'm glad
completely
you did,
enjoyable
'cause
experience.
I had the time of my life
Yeah.
watching this thoroughly horrible movie.
Yeah, it is truly
It's just
a terrible it's a it's a good bad movie.
yeah, it is a good bad movie. There are so many moments in this movie that I just loved. Many of them involving, I can never remember this guy's name. He's a singer in a group that was popular for a while.
Okay. A
Um,
rock group,
a rock group that was popular for a
musicians.
while. He's a musician. And
It'll come to you, I'm sure.
yeah, not somebody who you would think is conventionally handsome, and yet
Mm.
is incredibly attractive anyway for some reason that you cannot explain.
Well, look, the New York Dolls were great. I think Buster Poindexter was a good-looking dude. So I agree with you.
But he's got charisma just
All right, we have to we're doing it again. We need to establish the facts, the
we have
rules,
to
the
talk
ground
about, okay,
rules.
what movie we're
What is
talking
it?
about.
What
Uh,
even is this for crazy Freejack movie?
Freejack. It's about a guy named Jack who is, imprisoned, and there's a whole bunch of people who want to
No,
free him. No?
no. Usually in improv, you're supposed to say yes, and I'm going to say no.
Okay. Well, the way I do improv is no, but
I
that's
just, I'm
that's the
like,
school.
really? However, um,
On the contrary,
yes,
that's why I never did well with improv.
IMDb says Freejack from 1992, directed by Jeff Murphy or Joff Murphy. Is about bounty hunters from the future transporting a doomed race car driver to New York City in 2009, where his mind will be replaced with that of a dead billionaire.
Yeah.
So already we see where we are, and we
Yeah.
see this is overcomplicated, and we see that there's a lot of things going on, and we see
Yeah.
this movie could only been made in 1992.
Yeah.
This plot.
Yeah.
I
Was
wasn't.
Emilio Estivez in Flatliners
No, I don't think he
with Demi
was.
Moore? Wasn't he in
Well, that
Flatliners with
that
Demi
was
Moore?
that was Sutherland.
That was Kiefer?
Maybe I'm gonna need help on that. I don't think that.
I thought it was Kiefer and Rob. Wasn't
Are they
Rob
all in it? Rob Lowe's in it, I believe,
Rob
but I
Lowe?
don't know if
I think it
Emilio's
was
in it.
all those brat packy
Oh
boy.
God, you are nuts.
Oh my God, what happened there?
Yeah, so I agree. I think you're nuts. I don't know if I don't I don't know if Emilio Estevez is in it. I'm just gonna say I'm proud. I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay. But
Ignorance is bliss.
I don't know. There was some stuff that I bought about there was actually some stuff that I bought about, oh, somebody wants to know what my sweatshirt says. My sweatshirt says Elon. Extra Crispy wants to know what my sweatshirt says. It says Elon.
That's a strange, I have to tell you, it is a strange time to just randomly wear a shirt that says Elon.
Well, my daughter is going, it's a college, and my daughter is going there
Oh, okay.
in the fall.
Because that dude just bought Twitter, and I thought it was about that.
No, it's not. It's not. This is not Elon Musk. It's Elon University in North Carolina that my daughter is going to attend. Oh, our producers are sending us messages.
What's the story?
He's
What's
not
happening?
in Flatliners.
Thank
He
you.
is not in Flatliners. Kevin
Thank
Bacon,
you.
William Baldwin, Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
Good old Billy Baldwin.
So when did you know that what we were seeing was going to be amazing?
The very first moment that you see Mick Jagger.
Okay, me too. Exactly.
I
Me too.
said, I am going to have the best time here.
I don't even
Hilarious.
exactly how to say what he did here. Is he going? What is he doing as an actor? Can you help me?
he's saying, I'm Mick Jagger. Is I think what he's doing. He's just being Mick Jagger and walking through the movie and having fun.
I don't know. He looks like he's having less fun as it goes. And it looks to me like he realizes pretty quickly what he's done and gotten himself into. So there's a legend about this, that Mick Jagger took the role without, like, about a week or two before they started shooting.
Yeah.
And he apparently had been, this is according to an interview he did, which I saw. And he said, like, well, I was at a kind of a weird place transitionally with my life. I didn't really have a lot going on for the first time in a while. And somebody said, you want to do a movie? And I was like, yeah, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do a movie. And he didn't really think about it. And I think he thought about it once he got to the set, because the helmet itself, it's like right away, you see things are going wrong.
We got him.
He doesn't look like a person that really should be on a tank or near a tank or comfortable in the military gear.
No.
But
he's got great lines like, okay, let's do it.
Yes, which is why he took the part. I'm convinced.
We got them, let's go.
Exactly.
That's another great line.
Yes.
But he also has get the meat.
Get the meat said with
Get the meat.
Do you hear that? Let's play that again. Let's hear that again if you don't
Get
mind.
the meat.
The weird echo that they put on his voice for half of it.
Yeah.
But then not for the other half is quite something.
Get the meat.
Like something. I'm trying to figure out what it is that he looks like. He kind of looks like an emu that's been woken up too early.
Oh my gosh.
You know? He looks disdainful of you, but he's going to go with this.
He does look full of disdain through the entire movie.
And Anthony Hopkins, who's also in this movie, said in an interview on national television that this was a terrible film at the time of its release. Pretty much.
Oh, here's trouble. Look out. Get ready. Hang on.
What's that?
This is
That was a great
Freejack.
film. Mick Jagger,
Yeah.
Emilio Estivez.
Right.
I didn't know who that is.
Yeah. Yep. And what was the idea? This was this like a futuristic
It's a terrible film.
science fiction? Unbelievable.
From one of the stars of the movie,
From
ladies and
one
gentlemen.
of the stars of the movie. So, okay, let's just explain maybe one or two of the things that could have gone wrong here. Okay, first they cast Mick Jagger as in an acting part.
Yeah.
Which is it's a mistake. It's not, he's not known for his acting ability. I think if he were good, we would see him in a lot of movies like somebody who is good.
But
How am I doing?
Not bad.
Yeah, right. Not
Yeah,
bad.
not bad.
Not too good, in
No.
fact. And if you look at somebody like Bowie did a lot better as an actor than Mick Jagger did.
Yes. But then why did I love Mick Jagger so much in this movie?
Because it's a great experience to see him in this terrible movie, but I don't think that you can honestly say that. Well, maybe you could. I don't know. You could. Maybe
There were a
fight
couple
for
of
this.
moments that he had that I thought were priceless.
Priceless in a way, but it wasn't every moment just painfully also ridiculous.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in a priceless way that I would watch it over and over again. His reaction to one of his own to the men being killed by the grenade
Yeah.
was priceless to me, where those guys get killed by the grenade and he just kind of goes, he gives like a look like and then his one Mississippi, two Mississippi is pretty.
Yeah, I'm sure they had to explain that to him.
I'll give you a 5-minute start. 1 Mississippi. 2 Mississippi.
Mississippi, is a travesty. It's remarkable. He didn't do a lot of movies. He did some movies in the 60s. It never really worked. Never really clicked for Mick. in the
No.
old movies. I wonder if he feels bad about it. I wonder if he feels like, that's one that got away. I did everything
Oh.
else.
God, really? I don't know. I mean, if you're Mick Jagger, do you really feel bad about anything?
Everybody feels bad about something. I mean, I read Dostoevsky. Come on. Everybody feels bad
Everybody
about
feels
something.
bad about something. Yeah.
So can we, I mean, how do we start? Do we want to start by saying that the first shot of Emilio Estivez is of his ass? Do we want to start there? Or
Well, so we got a theme going on. So last week, the first shot of the star was of his crotch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I didn't realize that the first shot of
Well,
Emilio
it's not a
was-
close up, but it's he is definitely like it's a shot of his ass, and he's lying in bed, and it's unnecessary the amount of ass that's that he's showing you in the movie. I'm just turning my phone off if you're wondering what's
you're
happening
doing.
over here.
Take a call if it's
No,
important.
I'm still
go
in the
ahead and
show.
take it.
I still want to do the show. I do.
Okay.
So then, okay, so what? All right. So the idea behind this movie is that a billionaire from the future is dying, and he knows he's dying. In fact, he's dead, and his brain on ice is just the only thing alive. And what he
Right.
wants is a fresh body. And the easiest way to do that, because the current situation on Earth is bad, and everybody's sick from pollution, and
Right.
cranky, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they're
He-
eating bad food.
He wants a young, healthy specimen so
Right.
that he can inhabit that body. So, for some reason, he thinks that he tracks down in the past, like some person who died in the past,
Right.
and right before they really die, the idea is that they put him into a time warp and suck him into the future, and then they're saved from their death.
Right. And you get the feeling that this is because they actually have a term for people who they do that to who escape. They are the people called, you are a freejack if
Right.
you escape. Because your
But-
body's been hijacked, but now you're free. You get the
Mm.
feeling that this is a thing that is done by the wealthy in this world, and that they justify it morally because they only capture people in the split second before their death. So they're not really killing anybody. They're taking their body of somebody who would die in 0.2 seconds anyway.
Right, sure. Now, already, see, the thing is, though, that you're explaining this in a much easier way than is explained in the movie, because that doesn't make any sense in the movie, really. You have to figure out that's what Freejack means.
Right.
Clearly, this isn't going on all the time. It's too hard to do it. You have to have way too much money. You have to have
No, I think
an
only
arm-
the ultra rich do it. Well, that's a problem with the
But they
script, though,
don't-
because they imply that it happens enough that there's a slang term for
Yeah,
the people
but-
who are hijacked and escape, which
the only
would mean-
technology.
it would
the only-
mean it happens all the time, but clearly it doesn't happen all the time because
Because it's proprietary tech that Anthony Hopkins developed to do this in his private laboratory in the sky.
but I think for the ultra rich, but they don't explain it well enough.
But you don't meet any other rich that have done it or do it
No.
or hear that anybody else has ever done it. So
Right.
you're
You have
confused.
to surmise it. Yeah.
You're as confused then as you are when John Shea shows up and you're like, wow, who is that? Why is he here?
And why is John Shea in the movie?
Do you know?
Do I know why John Shea is in the movie?
Yes.
Yes, I do actually.
I have no idea. Can you explain to me why he's there?
He's an actor. He's an actor. Somebody offered him a job. He needed
I'm
money.
being
He said,
serious.
well, okay, seriously, I have no idea
I
why
mean,
that character's
who is
in the
that
movie.
person?
Yeah.
Why does he
He's-
have giant statues of feet in his apartment?
Oh, well, that if you weren't able to figure that out, I'm not even gonna.
I actually do have a theory about that. I think
Yeah.
it's a nod to Scanners, wherein one of the characters was an artist who made giant sculptures, and he made a sculpture of his own head in which a scene takes place, which I thought was great in Scanners. But they don't really make good on this.
You know.
He's just a mystery guy.
Okay, I will say that the opening sequence, I very much enjoyed the intercutting between the present day of the movie, not our present day, because our present day is 13 years after the future in that movie. Was that confusing enough for you?
It was, yeah.
Because
It's like-
the future in the movie is 2009. The present day in the movie is 1991. And I kind of liked the sort of, what is going on here? There's a racer getting ready for a big race, a big Formula One race. And there's this weird military thing happening in some weird dystopian future. And then when they get to the shot where you see the big Nissan the big Nissan ad on the overpass, and you see it in the present day, and then you see it in the burnt out future, and you realize, oh, we're in the exact same spot. I like that.
But yes, I liked it too, but it only works. You only have to figure that out by using like an abacus and charting the moon and the sun, because you can't, it's not in the movie. He's looking at a map of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger's looking at a readout of Manhattan, and he's driving his tank through the city. The racetrack is clearly in the country. I like that it's this big race, and it looks like a county fair. It's like a town fair.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there wasn't a pig weighing contest that he was part of.
Okay.
It's the ugliest racetrack in the world.
You're not giving any.
No, I mean, look,
ground.
I had a blast, but I we have to be honest here. This is some rough stuff, and we're talking about the guy, who the guy edited this is Dennis Verkler, and there's some cool stuff, but then there's also some rough going. But this guy, he edited Hunt for the Red October and The Fugitive and Under Siege and Xanadu, which makes complete geometric sense.
You're not too far off with the pig farming. That there should have been some pig farming going off, because my producers are informing us that our producers are informing me, not my producers are informing us. I'm sorry.
Your producers are informing me that I need
our
to.
producers are informing me that the movie. What did he say?
Back it up.
Okay. All right. I'm being scolded. The producers are scolding me.
Get in line, man.
The movie was filmed in Atlanta, Georgia, so I think there was a pig weighing contest going on.
Sure. Sure. Are you saying? Look, you're criticizing. Are you castigating other states in the union because
Atlanta? No,
Yes.
I love Atlanta, Georgia. They got.
That was a barbecue reference that you made.
Yeah, big Matt's barbecue. I went to Fat Matt's. Sorry,
you
Fat
gotta
Matt's.
Well, then you got to take me there.
I've enjoyed Fat Matt's in Atlanta. Biltong is a wonderful bar in Atlanta.
I will clearly know more about it than I do.
Get the meat.
Okay, what's your what? Okay,
Biltong.
What?
This is a car crash of a show.
It's a car wreck. This is a hard movie to talk about in a way. It's hard to parse. It's very entertaining. It is like a mashup of many of the movies that you like from the 90s. It is far cheaper in feel than you were expecting, because there's some money on screen, and then there's an incredible lack of money on screen, and they're just smushed up against each other.
He's photogenic, he's telegenic, he's drug-free, and he's real good to his mom. Is that a face that'll sell motor oil or what?
Buster.
Yep.
I liked him better when he was the front man of the New York Dolls. I will fully admit.
Yeah.
But,
well, there was something in my mind, and it went out of my mind.
Well, let me say this then. If you're going to say that, let's go through the list of wonderful things that are in this movie. I think it has the most wonderful lovers reunion I've ever seen in a film.
Oh yeah.
He tackles her onto a couch, which was a very romantic gesture.
Yeah.
It's got the worst stuntman fall from a building after getting shot in the stomach that I've ever seen, because it literally looks like the stuntman just gave up. It looks like he quit. That's how he quit his job. Let's see. It has it starts with an ass shot. Did I say that with
You
Emilio
did.
Estivez? Okay. This is a movie that Frankie Faison in a very good scene. I think one of the better scenes in the movie in this dystopian future. He's on the run. Basically, this movie is a guy on the run movie. It's a little bit like The Fugitive. He escapes from the time travel nonsense very quickly. My cat's fine. Don't worry.
Okay.
Just has some stuff to say. He escapes very early in a lot of the movies about him kind of trying to get help from someone, get his girlfriend or his ex-manager to help him, and he's on the run. And in the process of that, he meets Frankie Faison, who's a wonderful actor I love, and he did probably one of my favorite things in the movie. He has a little speech about making rat stew, like how to roast them.
Stew. And being an eagle, how to be an
Have you
eagle.
ever seen an eagle flying back to his home with dinner for the missus and all the little eagle babies? He's about to get back to his nest. He says, "Oh, what the fuck? It's a drag being an eagle." And he goes plunging down and down and down and bam!
There you go.
Yeah.
Frankie Faison.
We like him.
Or is it Faison? I don't know how to pronounce the
I
last
sing,
name.
you gotta call him Frankie Faison. That's the.
That's something you sing to yourself? What? What did you just do? What is that? That's a song you sing? That's a song that you sing?
You can lie.
What in God's name was that? Okay. I'd like to learn that song. You should copyright it.
Explain later. There's
You
a whole thing.
All right. Well, I don't
I'm
know
not
why
gonna
you should
burden the
deny
audience.
the audience with this incredible story. Wow.
So
Did we? Yes. Did we mention that he steals to try to get away because he's getting chased by a battalion of tanks that are in multicolored tanks, commanded by Mick Jagger.
yeah, tank
In a
commander.
helmet that literally makes him look like Marv the Martian from Warner Brothers cartoons. It's the biggest
dear.
helmet.
Delays.
It's the biggest helmet I've ever seen, and
Yeah.
I just wish he'd start doing the dance, like some of the dances in the helmet, but he didn't do it.
No.
In this movie, Frankie Faison says there's no more wine. He misses drinking wine.
And then there's a champagne truck.
And then he steals his champagne truck to get away.
Yeah.
There's
Although
lies
that
in
sequence,
this film.
that bumper car chase with the champagne truck was one of the highlights of the movie for me. I loved that bumper car chase.
It's pretty great.
It's
yeah.
got a really good pipe ramp in it. One of the
Yes.
better pipe ramps that I've seen.
It's got some fun cars in it, some crazy automobiles. Not too
Yeah.
dissimilar from Demolition Man. Had a similar approach to the art direction, which was that the cities all pretty much look the same unless they're burning. And the only thing we're going to change is that people have weird cars. Pretty much true.
Yeah, very weird cars that are very clearly just some kind of go-kart platform with a fiberglass shell put over it.
Yeah. You know what is interesting to me? Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks, Jules. Yeah, I'm doing a hat. It's a little bit of a nod to Emilio's hat in Freejack. He wears a very stylish hat at one point in a disguise that I think was an inspiration to this. But thank you. I thank you, Steve and Jules. I appreciate that. Here's the thing. What I love about this movie is it's kind of like an Ozploitation movie without actually being from Australia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Doesn't it feel like I think this would have been better served had it been made in Australia.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, then the double feature for this movie should be this movie and The Return of Captain Invincible would be
That would be pretty
double
good,
feature.
or any Philippe Mora movie. The Beast
Yeah.
Within would be good. But honestly, it makes a great double bill with Split Second in a way. Like this has been a great combo. The 1-2 punch of that Rutger Hauer movie and this are kind of great. They have similarities to them, but this feels like and I don't know if you've heard what Ozploitation meaning like grindhouse movies from Australia that were.
When you said Ozploitation, I actually thought it was like movies that exploit Ozzie Davis is what I thought you were talking about.
Like Bubba Hotep. No,
Yeah.
No, Ozploitation from Oz, Anyway, the director, Jeff Murphy is from New Zealand. He's not Australian, but they have a similar kind of movie sensibility in New Zealand and Australia, I feel like. And so this has that kind of cracked energy to it that looks like people could get hurt at any time for real.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what separates an Australian grindhouse movie from a lot of others, is that it clearly looks like people were hurt and injured making an Australian grindhouse movie.
Yeah.
And this has some of that crazy energy.
Your mind will be utterly annihilated.
Okay, so then we've got some great things going on here too, like
Amanda Plummer playing the exact same role she played in Pulp Fiction.
Well, other than the nun part, yeah.
Yeah.
She's a nun in this movie, but a nun with a sawed-off shotgun and a bad attitude.
Yeah.
She's great. I mean, when is she not really great? But
she's spectacular.
She's really good. And they really give her a lot to do here. She actually gets some stuff, That felt like an Australian movie. That felt like the first Road Warrior movie to me. So that was really cool.
If you're a praying man, I'd start.
Yeah.
She handles that gun great.
Yeah.
She really does. And then you got, as I said, Frankie Faison is fantastic in it. John Shea is good in it, but I don't know why he's there. I have no idea what his character is. Who's really good?
If we're going to talk about people who are really good, can we talk about Jonathan Banks?
Well, I was going to get to him.
Oh, okay.
After I mentioned Isai Morales, who I was very, very pleasantly thrilled by his work in it. I thought Isai was, he's actually always good. I just hadn't seen him in a long time. And I was like, want to see more. I mean, he's still acting, but I'd love to see him in more stuff. Jonathan Banks. What did you want to say about him?
I just loved every moment that he was on screen. I love that guy.
He's great. I
want to, I want to hang out with him and Ralph Meeker. Those two. Mike Hammer.
Okay, and Jonathan Banks.
And Jonathan Banks.
I have a feeling Jonathan Banks, both of them are probably very nice people. I have a feeling that Jonathan Banks would be surprisingly not what his characters are like. Because he's always playing very, very surly, grouchy, angry men.
Yeah.
I think of all, let's be real, the best person to hang out here was definitely David Johansen. If you wanted to have fun, Johansen's trailer was the one you'd go hang out in. For real. Nobody wanted to hang out with Anthony Hopkins. He was just annoyed that he was there.
He was so sorry to be in this movie.
What bet did he lose to get in this thing?
Maybe they just offered him a lot of money for what was probably about 2 days worth of work.
What the crazy thing about this movie is, I think the single weirdest thing about it is that it doesn't look like they had any money to pay somebody like Anthony Hopkins or Mick Jagger to show up. No. It really looks like it cost about, $2 million.
Right. And yet the budget was $30 million.
It literally all went to Isai Morales. He's just impossible, apparently. He demands everything.
And with that 30 million, do you know how much they grossed?
Less. They didn't make their money back. I know
$17 million.
That's all worldwide, up till now, today. That's
no, Canada and US, 17 million. So maybe it might.
I bet it did pretty damn well in Eastern Europe and in Asia. I would bet.
Yeah.
But
And
They
we
made it.
watched it, so they made another 37 cents right there because I paid for it on Vudu.
I paid for it too.
Yeah.
The insurance schmucks wouldn't pay up. They couldn't find the body.
Now, if only Johansen just let loose. He didn't repress so much. I just wish he would, be a little more emotive.
Yeah.
Um,
You know
So-
who did great out of this movie? Who really got a
Jules
lot-
was asking, was the entire budget almost to all to casting? I have to say, yeah. I mean, it really did look like the money just didn't make it on screen, except for the last. What's weird about it is that it has a pretty interesting pedigree. Like the DP, the director of photography, Amir Mokri, is great. Like he did a lot of wonderful movies. He did Blue Steel, Pacific Heights, Bad Boys 2, Fast and Furious, and I think all the Transformers movies, or 2 or 3 of them. I'm not a fan of that franchise, but they look amazing. He's a great DP. The writers included Dan Gilroy, who wrote and directed Nightcrawler, and then is, of course, married to Rene Russo.
That's what I was going to say. The person who did the best out of this movie
Is Dan Gilroy.
is Dan Gilroy.
For sure.
Because he wrote his first screenplay.
Mm-hmm.
They cast Rene Russo in it. They met and he married her.
Yeah.
I call that a win. I call that
That's-
a win
that's-
even
that's
if you get out of show business afterwards.
Well, and also they're still married, so it was true. It
Yeah.
seems to be true love. Like it was a real
It's like,
real thing.
wow. Hey.
Nibble my ear.
Yeah, nibble my ear. That was just weird. I mean, they even made that was creepier than if he'd said, let's.
Oh, well, then don't let me tell you about my relationship with Mariette Hartley then, if you thought that was creepy.
This isn't what I expected.
It's not what anybody
Wait,
expects.
inside scoop on Mariette Hartley.
Inside scoop on Mariette Hartley.
For those of you at home who don't know who Mariette Hartley is,
look her up. Google that.
Did you have a love scene with Mariette Hartley?
I never had a love scene with Mariette Hartley, but she said something about, I don't remember if she was talking about her husband or her kids, but she said something about how she said, maybe it was one of the kids, maybe it was husband, and she said, yeah, he loves it when I snuffle his ear. And I said, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And so this was back in, when was Improper Channels? Early 80s, right?
Yeah, like 81 or 2.
82, somewhere there. I know I was in law school at the time, so I think it was summer of 83. I'm being told 1981. So I said, what is that snuffling the ear? April 1981. So it must have been summer between my sophomore and junior year of college, up in Canada, and Dad was working with her, and she said something about snuffling an ear, and I said, what is that? And she said, well, here. And she came over and she snuffled my ear. And that was something to to dine out on.
I'm getting uncomfortable.
And then I saw
I don't
her
know
about
what I'm
10
getting
years
uncomfortable.
ago. I saw her about 10 years.
A little bit nervous.
I'm a lot nervous.
There you go. I saw her about 10 years ago and I brought it up and she snuffled my ear again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Nibble my ear. For luck.
Okay, that was terrible ADR on that for luck as well.
Terrible
That wasn't
ADR.
even
And the
him.
creepy little smile he gives after he says, nibble my ear. And then he gives this creepy little smile.
He looks like he's been huffing gas in that movie. I don't know what's up with him. So, okay. So Mariette Hartley, for those of you who don't know, what would be the
most famous thing she did was the Kodak commercials or some commercials with James Garner.
Were they
and everybody
Polaroid?
thought Polaroid maybe, and everybody thought she was married to James Garner.
That's right.
And
she was a very interesting actress. She started very early. She's in Sam Peckinpah's Ride the High Country, which is a great movie. If you haven't seen that, you ever seen Ride the High Country?
No.
That's a wonderful Western. And that might have been not her first thing, one of her first. Anyway, That's from her. And she's an ear snuffler. She likes to
Ear
snuffle your ear.
but also one of the nicest people in show business, I have to say. Just a lovely, lovely woman. And,
so
and
nice.
she had a sweatshirt. The crew gave her a sweatshirt on the that said, "I am not Mrs. James Garner." Because everybody thought that she was married to James Garner because of their relationship in the Polaroid commercials. And then during the filming of Improper Channels, somebody gave Dad a sweatshirt that said, "I am not Mr. Marriott Hartley."
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
But I take your word for it. Yeah.
Well, Dad gave me that sweatshirt and I used to wear it, and it required
just gets more confusing the farther down that sweatshirt gets handed down.
It required a lot of explaining. Why are you wearing a sweatshirt that says
Venn
"I
diagram.
am not Mr. Marriott Hartley"?
Yeah. You need like an IKEA catalog. You need like an IKEA instruction manual.
I used to do a PowerPoint presentation on the whole thing.
It's you need an exploded view basically of this to get. We talked about a lot of the good things in here. I feel like I'm underselling it because it's really a remarkably, notably great bad movie. Like it's
I mean, what's interesting is that we've been sitting here criticizing it and talking about how terrible it is. And I just had, we've got a clip of Marriott Hartley in a Polaroid commercial. We can actually show that. So
incredible.
People will. Here she is, ladies and gentlemen.
This is who we're talking about.
Hey, come on.
Isn't she fantastic?
We're having Wi-Fi issues. In the production office. Well, at some point it'll pop in. At some point,
she's great. You'll probably recognize it when you see her.
Yeah.
I think that we're picking on the movie because I'll give you an example. Things rolling along, nice cheesy sci-fi.
The difference on Christmas.
How do you know what they want for Christmas?
I even know who's been good and who's been bad.
Polaroid, thank you.
Yeah,
that's right.
That woman snuffled my ear.
They did dozens of them.
Nibble my ear.
You could, I don't know. Sounds like. All right, you asked for it though. This wasn't inappropriate ear snuffling. You asked her for the demonstration.
No, and it was just adorable.
Great as the Invisible Woman. I don't remember that, Jules. I don't remember that.
We'll have to check that out. But I just this was like a bucket of popcorn. This movie to me,
it's pretty old popcorn in the back, way in the back of the popcorn machine. Butter's been out for a couple of days, but yeah,
I loved it. I loved every part. I just had the best time.
Well, it is a movie where the hero, when he gets to get to do his action stuff, he opts for a cool tan action turtleneck, which is really what you want to see.
Oh my God!
A tan.
You just won't give it a break. You will not give it a break.
Well, I mean, look, it's got a reputation. We gotta honor its reputation as a truly disastrous. I mean, it's a disaster. This movie.
Yes.
Get out! It's a disaster.
Yeah, it's horrible, but it's so much fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
I don't want people to lose sight of the fact that you will have a great time watching this movie.
That depends who you are. I mean, you probably will, but like you're seeing that like this is the guy who said Race with the Devil isn't worth their time. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, well, if you're, but see, that's the thing. Like, I can't, I mean, if we're going to be realistic, I can't give that, you can't give this a pass and not give Race with the Devil some time because there's a lot more going on there than here. I mean, the people that made this asked us not to see it. Like, the people that made the movie are on television saying it's terrible.
Wouldn't want to dance to it, but that's a pulse.
You go. Thank you for that. That is my favorite line in the movie. That's my best line. My favorite. Wouldn't want to dance to it, but that's a pulse.
That's a pulse. Okay.
And get the meat. Get meat. Mick
Get the
Jagger
meat.
saying "get the meat."
Get the meat.
And he's talking about another person too.
Yeah.
Not what I thought. Not what he when he normally says that. He's talking about something else.
Well, you know,
When Mick Jagger says that, he's usually talking about something else. He's not talking about a runaway.
well, maybe
Man.
he'd worked with a German director, because you know what German directors call actors?
Schweinhund?
Lens meat.
Is that true?
That's what I've heard, that there are directors who call actors
I love
lens
that.
meat.
I love it.
Holy shit.
Exactly.
Lens meat is. I'm going to use that now. That's
a good- yeah.
Yes, that is good. Lens meat.
Just lens meat.
But you know, there's something beautiful about that. I will say. Can I tell a little sidebar story?
Please.
Which is connected to that?
Yeah.
All right. There isn't a legitimately Australian movie with Donald Pleasance in it, and it's called Wake and Fright. And I don't recommend seeing this movie to most people, because it has some pretty rough things in it, including some scenes of hunting kangaroos that is very, very hard to watch. I can only really recommend the movie at all because that wasn't staged for the film. The filmmakers went out on an actual kangaroo hunt at night with these hunters and just took documentary footage of what really happens, and they put it in the movie.
Okay.
It's still pretty horrible. So tread lightly. If you don't like animal stuff, just don't see it. But Donald Pleasance is great in it. And apparently I saw a documentary about it, and he he was a tippler. He drank a little bit. He was known to have an appetite. And there's a scene where he has to destroy an entire bar out in the outback. He goes crazy in a drunken rage and destroys this whole bar. And he asked the director if he could please get completely hosed in order to do the scene. And Ted Kotcheff was the director, who you might remember. Ted Kotcheff directed Cop and Something. And Ted Kotcheff, this is his first big movie, and he said, like, you know, no, Donald, you can't. No, you're not going to get drunk on work hours and do that. You got to act it. And Donald Pleasance is like, oh, well, it's okay, but it's not going to be great. And he did it, and it wasn't great. It just wasn't really great. And so Ted Kotcheff went, all right, what would happen if you drank and did it? And he goes, it would be good then. And so they reset the bar the next day, and he got completely trashed and did this in one take, and that's what's in the movie. And he said, well, some things you can't fake.
No. Yeah. No.
I
have a little story about one of the actors in this movie. I worked with one of the actors in this movie.
Who did you work with? I'm going to try to guess for a second.
You won't be able to guess.
You worked with Wilbur Fitzgerald.
Nope.
You worked with Tom Barnes.
Nope.
I'm lost.
You're going to have to go way down the list.
I don't want to.
I worked with Harsh Nayar, who played the cab driver.
Oh, okay. Who pulls the gun on him?
Yeah.
He's pretty funny in that.
Yeah. Sweet, sweet man. Joel, you know my buddy Joel.
I do.
We did a play with him at George Street Playhouse, and his name is spelled Harsh, and then the last name I believe is Nayar or Nayyar. Looks like Harsh Nayar. And through the entire production, we called him Harsh. Talked to him. 2 months of working together, and then Joel bumped into him about a year later and had introduced him to somebody. He said, and this is my friend Harsh Nayar, and Hirsch said, it's Hirsch. And Joel said, what? He said, it's Hirsch. And Joel said, we worked together for 2 months, and I called you Harsh for 2 months, and you never said anything. And Hirsch just shrugged.
He's like, whatever, Americans. Can't
Americans,
talk to them.
Yeah. Americans.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're all idiots.
Yeah. You could have asked, but you didn't. Because it was funny every single time. That's why he's like,
That's
I just
why he
laughed
was
at you
sitting there
every
like
time.
looking at what idiots we were calling and pronouncing his name wrong.
You know, we're getting some interesting notes here from our producing team, and it's true.
Well, it's got to be more interesting than what we're talking about.
No, I mean, you're defending the movie, and I'm happy to do. I love the movie, but we have to be realistic here. And you know, if it was just you, people would be rushing out to rent it willy nilly, thinking they're in for a great time. We can't do that. It's irresponsible. We can't do that. You know, drink. Go. That was a clip from the movie. I think I'm talking about. I think that was from Wake and Fright.
There you go.
Well done. The cast, you know, they all felt let down by this movie. You know, Emilio Estivez, I think, almost quit the business after this. Hopkins says it was terrible.
Maybe he should have quit the business before this.
That's a little bit mean, but
Don't sister me.
He definitely was unhappy that he made the movie. I think Mick Jagger's unhappy that he made it. Both you know, the writer and Rene Russo both say it's terrible and it was an awful movie.
Yeah, but they're happy they made it
for not reasons that wouldn't make the audience happy though. The person who rents it doesn't get any of that joy at all.
You still got brain function.
Oh shit.
I don't even know really what to say. That really the best thing about it is that the Scorpions did the final the end credit song. And we get the Scorps at the end. It's pretty fantastic. An original Scorps tune. You know, I gotta say that was pretty big.
Okay, I'm gonna try to pretend to talk about some real film stuff just for a moment.
Why? Because you all right?
What?
No, go ahead. You're teaching. You're a teacher. You gotta say smart things about movies to justify this. I understand.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, because then I can apply for tenure. You know,
I really do.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. 9 or 10 year. 9, maybe 9, maybe 10. I don't know.
If I say that there was one sequence in this movie where they suddenly said, let's cram a whole bunch of references to other movies in 30 seconds of this movie. And I'm going to say James Bond, 2001, and Tron. And you know the sequence I'm talking about?
The brain meld sequence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The iris door is so the beginning of the Bond movies, right? That irising door where Bond does the gun thing.
Yeah, and it's from Star Wars too.
Right. And then 2001 brain freak out walking through that. And then it turns into Tron.
It turns into Tron, and if Tron was mixed by the same people that made Too Many Cooks. It's one of the funniest sequences I've ever seen. I mean, so what happens is the confrontation at the end, they finally get Emilio Estivez in front of Anthony Hopkins, and they're going to mind meld, and he's going to take his body, and his mind is going to swap, and Emilio's terrified. And
welcome to my mind.
And they go to this computer, which is shaped like a jack, like a Jack's toy, which is cool.
Yeah,
it's called Freejack, and this is the top of the building is like, what do they call those? A jack? Jacks.
Those are jacks.
So that was interesting, and then they have like a freak out, like an incredibly weird music video happens, where all the imagery in the world kind of happens at once, and there's it goes on for a while. It's fantastic. Fire, screaming, close-ups of eyeballs, you know, people whirling around in a tornado. It's great. It's probably the best you know, wormhole, mind connection, mind meld freak out things I've ever seen in a movie.
Our producers are telling that there's also references to Terminator.
He has a line from the Terminator, doesn't he?
He does say, he says, "Fuck you, asshole." And he screams. But
I
Eddie
love that.
Furlong is a name in the. It was an actor in the Terminator, right? Wasn't Eddie Furlong?
Eddie Furlong is the kid, in Terminator 2.
And he's named
T2
Furlong in this movie.
In Freejack.
In Freejack, his character is Furlong.
Freejack is Furlong.
He's a Freejack.
I can't say enough. This movie is worth seeing. It is an embarrassment. What do you feel like is the best way to see this movie, Matthew?
I said with a big bucket of kettle corn and some red vines and Mr. Pibb.
Okay. Classic movie, just sitting there with all the junk food, having a blast.
Sugar
Watch
high.
this bit. This is good.
That's how I felt about this movie.
I feel the most appropriate place to see this film is on an exercise bike at the gym.
Oh, wow. Nice slap there.
Good work. Yeah, that's what I think.
Who are we? Who are we in this movie?
We have good parts. I think I feel like I'd like to see you do the Eagle Man monologue. So I'm gonna give you Frankie Faison's part.
Wow, you were generous.
I was more generous with myself because I think of all these roles, the one I want, I want Michelet. I want to play Jonathan Banks' part.
Oh yeah, you'd be good.
And I think I'd have a shot at getting the audition.
Yeah.
Oh, the good Lord says to turn the other cheek.
He gets kicked around a lot.
I can see you. He gets kicked. He gets slapped.
Yeah. It's like Home Alone when he's in this. That's what this is actually more like.
I had you as Isai Morales.
Oh, okay. I'll take that. Thank you. It's a good part. He probably of anybody, I think Isai Morales got out of here clean, with smelling the best.
I had myself as a random guy in a helmet getting killed.
Can I pick the guy though that you are? Because there's a little moment that I think is incredibly funny. I don't know if it's on purpose. The first time he goes out into the street, right? And this basics, unless you're super rich in this community, it's just people are living in poverty and squalor, and there's no money, and the people are like, haggling over chickens and trading buttons in the street. It's terrible. And while he's making this walk through this, busted out, totally broken down Brooklyn, he does notice a saxophone player hanging out in a burned out doorway playing a sax solo, which I think is probably the best thing in the movie. But there's a little shootout that happens.
Yeah.
That lasts about 4 seconds. Like there's a lot of things going on the street, and then suddenly there's like a pow pow, and two guys are shooting each other. Bunch of guys rush. They take Emilio Estivez hostage for literally like 2 seconds.
And it's never
like gun to his head, and then he runs away, and it's never explained. It's the quick. He looks confused. It looks confused through this whole movie. It looks like he doesn't know where, like the director's yelling at him to do stuff in the middle of a take, and he's like, I don't know where, what do you want?
My left or your left?
Yeah.
My left.
Gotta look messed up. Like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, great electrocution scene.
That I have down as one of the great moments is when the soldier gets fried.
Yeah, that was really good. Old school effects on that one. Very nice. You got some cool tunes, including who else? You got Ministry had a couple tunes in here. I'm sure Twisted Sister probably had a song or two. They didn't.
If it's not Montavani, I don't know what it is.
Well, we're gonna teach you some stuff.
Okay.
It's because you shouldn't be listening to Montavani. Hit Between the Eyes, Scorp song, Hit Between the Eyes, folks, written for this movie. That was a great moment. Did you let's see.
Did you recast it all?
I did. Did you?
Yeah, I didn't have time to do a lot, but I did a little bit of recasting.
Hit me.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, good. Okay, I buy that one.
And Paula Patton from Ghost Protocol.
Oh, okay. I like it. You went serious. You took this seriously.
Yeah, I said if you were going to try and remake this and really do it.
Totally the kind of movie that Jake Gyllenhaal would do.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he did a movie Source Code has a little bit of this.
Source Code is there's a big difference, actually.
Source Code's a good movie.
Yes, Source Code is actually a movie that works.
Yeah.
But I like that casting. That's as far as you got?
That's as far as I got. I had A Week from Hell.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Bear me out. I've got Finn Wolfhard in the Emilio Estivez part.
Oh, yeah.
Or Wolf Finnhard.
No,
I don't
Finn
know.
Wolfhard.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Because it needs somebody very young in that part. I think Jake is a little old for it, to be totally honest. So I think just chronologically, it helps if Finn is the 20-year-old that he is. So I'm gonna go Finn Wolfhard, Scarlett Johansson in the Rene Russo part.
Okay.
Stellan Skarsgård as Anthony Hopkins as the billionaire.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do Tom York from Radiohead in the Mick Jagger role, because I think he'd look even better in that helmet than Mick Jagger does.
Okay.
And Busta Rhymes in the Buster Poindexter part.
Sticking with the Busta theme.
Exactly. But there is also a rock star, a musical star.
Yeah.
In the thing. For those of you who don't know, I keep referencing Buster Poindexter. Buster Poindexter was a character that the actor Johansen played, right?
Yeah. Yes.
And David Johansen was in real life a rock star from a New York-based band called the New York Dolls, and they were a very important punk band or post-punk band of their day. But they never really hit it big, and he hit it big later as a kind of a cabaret performer named Buster Poindexter.
Right.
But his real name is David Johansen, famous for the big smile and the burly voice and all of that. Did a couple of movies.
And
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to educate you. This is stuff from the 90s. I know, maybe you don't. Featured in Scrooge. Oh, you're right. Thank you. Yeah, Buster did some other film work.
Do you have a double feature for this movie?
I actually don't, but I think I came up with the fact that I think the perfect double feature is this and either Split Second. To me this and Split Second are a great combo.
Yeah. I did the opposite, where I said let's take this and pair it with something really good, and it was Source Code. Like I would watch.
I gotcha. That makes
Source
sense.
Code is the antidote to this.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess equally I could say like watch this and Death Race 2000 would be a great combo.
The friggin' word is out on you.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true. It's out on us.
The word's out that I know what I'm talking about.
You know so much more about movies than I do.
Death Race 2000 and this would be great because it's a dystopian movie with some comedy stuff, a lot of car crashes and stuff in it, and no time travel, but whatever.
Okay.
Finn Wolfhard, time travel.
Wolfhard. Well, that's my notes. We've covered my notes here.
I felt like I had more to say about it, but I don't. The best thing about this movie is seeing Mick Jagger commander a bunch of tanks through New York and saying things like, get the meat.
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 It's the very T, like T. Get the meat.
Get the meat.
Oh, he's so scary and intense.
Yeah.
Every single close-up of him was clearly shot on another continent than we're like months apart, probably in England or South Africa or somewhere completely different than Hollywood. Don't you think?
Yeah.
The lighting is different in every close-up that he has.
Yeah. Well, we're in for a wild ride next week. And for the rest of the month, actually, because we're doing time travel for the rest of the month.
Yes.
Starting with Deja Vu next week with Denzel Washington.
Yep.
Really fun movie. Then another really fun movie, Time After Time, with Malcolm McDowell, Mary Steenburgen or Bergen. I'm never sure which it is. Steenburgen.
Excuse me.
Steamed burger.
Steamed burgers.
And David Warner. And then Peggy Sue Got Married with Kathleen Turner.
Time Travel May is what
Time
we're doing.
Travel May. Yeah.
Next time we're going to promise to pick a movie that wasn't completely reshot by another director halfway through.
Yeah.
They showed a screening of this movie. It was so bad that they literally told the screenwriter to go direct more of it because, yeah.
The Lord moves in mysterious ways.
Producer, yeah, he was a producer, but not really. Because he was a producer kind of because he wrote Alien and they were like, okay, so you can produce, but he didn't really have a lot of producing experience as much as he had a name, I think.
Right.
Because this movie is neither well produced nor particularly well directed, in my opinion.
But I want to reiterate, it is fun to watch.
It is Matthew's favorite movie. And that's not just because he's a giant Scorpions fan and loves to go to the metal shows. Or because he wears an action turtleneck at home. It is that good a movie.
Gosh. All right. Whatever.
Well, look, I mean, this movie, you're giving it a bit of a pass where I'm saying, like, production design by Joe Alves, man, who did Jaws and Close Encounters and Escape from New York. I mean, you gotta, there's some good actors in here. Things could have been better. Should have been better. Don't you think?
I totally agree.
Okay.
I don't know why. Maybe I don't know why. Maybe
you're
I was just
tired at night. The booze business is hard.
The booze
you just want to relax and have a good time.
I just want to sit and let something wash over my simple mind for a little while.
Which is exactly why we do a movie podcast.
Yeah, there you go.
The thing that we're most passionate about.
So we're going to ask you to tune in next week because we have a big surprise next week. I think we have a new theme song next week.
I was under the impression that we were going to hear it tonight, so I got very thrown. I'm a big fan of this new theme song.
The new theme song. I have heard the early iterations of it, and everybody's in for a big surprise. We have talented people working on the show now.
We finally have people that know what they're doing.
We don't know what the heck is going on.
Finally.
Yeah, people who will lift us up by our bootstraps. And
there you go, one blue plate special.
I waited 20 minutes for this shit.
That's how I feel.
That's how most people feel about our show.
I tried, Matthew. I literally downloaded the book sample that this movie is based on. I downloaded the book called it's Immortality Incorporated. I tried reading that.
Wow.
They didn't make that book.
No. Okay. Hey,
somebody
got fired just so they could watch our show.
Well, Jules, I hope you know that it's on YouTube all day. You could see this right when you got home from work. You don't have to watch it. I feel terrible that you got into this situation just because of that. But I mean, I'm honored and very proud to have been the cause of such a disturbance, though.
Sucking up mega doses of carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, mercury, lead, benzene, nuclear waste.
Watching Freejack.
Yeah, there you go. All right. Well, I think we've taken up enough of our audience's time.
Next week we're doing Freejack 2. We got to bear down harder. I know there's more to get out of this.
Deja Vu with some Denzel next week.
All right.
Please join us, and you got to tune in for this new theme song because that
we're
alone.
on top.
We're going all the way to the top.
We're going all the way to the top with the I want to see that clip again.
We're going to the top.
Yep, with our new theme song. It is rocketing us straight to the top.
Emilio looked confused in that shot. It's funny, didn't he?
I think he's confused all the time.
He looks confused.
All right.
Nibble my ear. For luck.
And on that note, we will see you next week.
Keep my grandma smiling.
Good night, sir.
Good night.